ever since I started as a designer, I knew, or I found out through talking to people, to sharing with people, I found out, or let's put it this way, I knew what work sells. I knew what you have to do to make work that sells. I knew the kind of work that not the audience, because it's never about the audience. Between you, the designer, me and the designer, and the audience, there's a fucking gatekeeper. Piece of bullshit guy, gal, who doesn't know jack, right? They're called the client. Or the boss. I knew the work that I had to do to be successful. I started out as a book jacket designer. I saw what it took to make successful work. Unless you worked in-house, unless you had the ear of the editor, and I had friends who worked like that. They did fucking primo work. I didn't have that, and I did primo work anyway because I fought and I humped. But I knew the kind of work that would be successful. And I very quickly got sick of it. Because as a designer, working with clients, working with bosses, I'm a racehorse. You want to win races? Hire me. I win races. I'm capable of this. You, in your heart of hearts, you know you're capable of this. Okay? Clients, for the most part, I have had and do have amazing clients who want to change the world, and they're capable of this. Most clients are capable of this. And therefore, it don't work. Therefore, you become on the losing end of compromise all the time. And as a designer, I learned to hate that really quickly, right? And there's this idea that comes up. It came up in a coaching session earlier today. I just got back from the gym, so I've got my disgusting, sweaty, stinky t-shirt on. Thank God this isn't smell-o-vision. Smellogram. Sorry, kids are here. This conversation came up during a coaching session earlier today. By the way, if you want to work with me as a coach, as a mentor, as a creative director, little pink button on my website, jamesvictoria.com. Click it and we'll talk. Thought came up today, which was my man, the guy I was working with, was talking about imposter syndrome. And he gets he's in a position where he's not doing his own work. He's in a position where he's working for clients, and these new jobs come in, and he knows in his heart of hearts that he's doing them for money, because it's not the work that he's put on this planet to do, right? And he says every time a job comes in, he says, I have imposter syndrome. And I'm like, oh, yeah, but check this out. That imposter syndrome, that's actually, it's not you and you're not capable and you're moving into this new place and everybody else is smarter and you have to rise to the... No, your imposter syndrome means you have to fucking be an imposter to pull that job off. You have to lie to yourself. You have to become the imposter in order to do the work that sells. That's a horrible position to be in. But that's the position most of us get stuck in. We know in our heart of hearts what we're capable of. We're racehorses. We can change the world. But we can't find our people. We can't find our people. I love this idea. I love this idea that when the imposter comes up, it's not you being less than. It's not you being incapable. It's not you withering. It's you in your heart of hearts knowing that you're better than that. That you're capable of more than that. That's interesting. I am working on a project right now that I will be sharing a lot or more with you soon. And it's a project for you. And it's a project for my kiddos. And it's a project for everybody else that I love. And I shared a little bit of it. And I showed these little sketches. These are little sketches from the thing. And it's based on a project I did for the Department of Probation in New York a number of years ago. Oh, hello. Hello. Do you want to say hello to the people?
Hello.
What's your name?
Nova.
That's Nova. What are you? Who are you, wise guy?
Ella. I'm Wyatt.
Wise guy, the Wyatt. Wyatt, the wise guy. Oh, watch your step. Now, go make something cool.
I am.
I did a project for the New York City Department of Probation a number of years ago, and I was signed on for the thin pentimento, that thin pentimento of graphic design that you and I are often asked for, which is typography and color. And that doesn't interest me at all, for the most part. So what I really wanted to do for them was make art, was make posters, make something that somebody cared about. Nobody really, I mean, you can do color or typography in a way that people care, but in corporate environments it's often difficult. In this environment, it would be difficult. Yes. So what I did instead was I made posters. They didn't ask for prints. We made them anyway. And it was inexpensive, so it was doable for them. Because it was one-offs. Big self-adhesive 3 foot by 4 foot posters that just went up on the wall. And they were awesome. They were so good. They changed how I work. They changed how I think. They changed the DOP. They changed the probationers. Inspired me to write Feck Perfection and keep writing the things that I'm doing. And now I'm doing a similar project, but I'm gearing it towards an audience that I haven't addressed yet, and I think is an equally deserving and worthy audience. And it's kids. It's mine. It's yours. It's you. And I don't remember the moment I thought about it, but I was probably on a plane because there it is. This is my plane sketchbook. And I was remembering that when I was a kid, I would ask my parents questions. And I'd ask my dad, and he'd say, go ask your mom. And I'd ask my mom, and she'd say, go ask your dad. And I was like, what the fuck's going on here? What is that? And I thought, you know what would have changed my life back then? You know what would have changed my life? If one of them or someone said, go ask yourself. Go ask yourself. What do you think? What's your opinion on it? That's a question that is lacking in the education of creatives these days. That's the question that is lacking in the history of creative education. You know, it was never in any of the classes I took as a student. It was in my class, but no one ever asked, "What do you think? What's your opinion on the subject?" That's important. That would have changed my life. That would have changed my life as a kid if someone said, "Go ask yourself." Go ask yourself. So the first one I came up with was what said, "Go ask yourself." And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to do a series of them." And this one I was working on. This is one of the reasons why I want to talk to you today. This one I've been working on for the last week. I'm finalizing the mechanicals. These are going to be silk screen. So they're for me they're traditional mechanicals. They're done on the computer. I use a teaspoon of Photoshop, and I use InDesign. But it's all analog. It's all in piles and sketches and drawings here on the table. And I'm going to finalize the colors. And the finalizing of the colors doesn't really happen until I get to the silk screener, until I get to my guy Tony. Tony's my genius. He's amazing. Tony at Industry Print in Austin. And then that's where I'll sit down and go, oh, what I'd really like is, how about this nasty vibrant green with sky blue, right? And we'll start throwing colors down. But we're getting close to getting them to the printer, and I'm super excited. But that means I've got to finish them. And I want to tell you the story of so I start like this. Everything starts as a teeny little sketch. then I scan those in, and these are kind of too small for me to actually work. These are just the comps, and you see this one I'm working on right now. That was the comp. That was it. Brave is a choice. That was it. There was no real design to it. It was just type. It was just like literally notes to self. But then it gets too small, so I start doing little sketches like these, thinking, oh, that's fun. Kind of like reverse engineering my way into it. I just start drawing what I want to draw. Just start making what looks funny to me, what I enjoy making, what would be fun, maybe something I haven't made before, maybe in a tool I haven't used before. So I'll start working on this. I really liked this flower. So I scan that in, and then I start working with that, and that's what this would look like. So that's in the format. This is actually a 26 by 1824 final size, printed out at like 20%, and then I just start doing sketches on top of this because this is manageable. Now here's the funny thing. At one point, I had to start thinking about the typography. What I know I want is I want this flower and I want that smile. That's about it. And then I have to start thinking about the typography. But at one point, I started thinking about the type, and here, let me just get it. Hey, Nov, can you hand me those gold scissors right there?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm working on the type, and I know that I want it to look like it was just drawn there, pencil, just like someone just walked up to it, big piece of paper, and did that. So I was working on all different kinds of materials, and this is just a 9B, probably a 9B pencil, really super soft, because I wanted it to go from thin to big. At one point, I was working on some sketches where I wanted type to like literally grow as I was drawing. So I would put tracing paper, or this is Lupo, it's more like a plastic paper, over it, and I drew this, and I kind of really liked it. But the problem was, it's okay, you can make noise.
Okay.
The problem was, when I blew it up and I put it on the poster, big, when I start printing it out, because I'm like super literal. I have to see it. I have to pin it up on the wall. Sometimes I even just throw it in a frame just so I can see it. So I'm building like the full size pieces, just in black and white. But I start printing it out, and this typography, it doesn't look like pencil. It just looks like some pen or chalk or something. And I'm not happy with it. So I really like this, but I can't use it because what I'm looking for is very particular. So now comes 2 days, maybe 3 days of searching. So what I did then is I took that, printed a piece of it out. I printed this much of it out. So that's just the type. That's just the exact type. That's just this that had been scanned in and blown up to this. Because this, what happens is when I do a sketch, tiny little thing, I'll just do a sketch, it's fucking perfect. It's perfect because I'm not thinking about it. I'm not laboring over it. Because I don't like to write or draw things 3 or 4 or 6 or 12 times, because anything after the first or second time is judging. I'm judging it. I'm comparing it with the other ones. I'm searching for perfection, and perfection doesn't exist. So I know that I have a problem when I do the tiny little sketch and it doesn't work. I'm not choking, it's okay. So what I had to do was, and I knew it wasn't going to work if I did it small, because I was going to use a lot of different tools. I was going to try all these different pens, all these different pencils, all these different papers, pencil paper combinations. Those change things. So what I did is I blew it up to a bigger size, about this big, that I knew that I could put under different papers, and I could basically just trace it. because I liked it. There was a lot going on here that I liked. I liked how it was growing. I like how is kind of thin and a throwaway. I liked what was happening with that C. I liked what was happening with the I was becoming an asterisk or a star, and the C was a moon. So maybe it's a sun and a star and a moon. But then what happens is I start going through this process of all these different papers and trying to make. I go through this. I start like this is just some cheapy paper, and I go through here, and I do it a couple times, but then I start making all these choices. I start like, no, I don't like this, and oh, that OI doesn't fit in there, and here the H is all jammed up, and the A doesn't look like an A. Just like noodly things like that generally I don't care about. But I know that I don't have a client. I don't have a creative director or an art director besides me, and I don't want to put things out that some kid is going to go, like I want it to be somewhat clear. And I know that I'm using cursive for children, so they're just going to have to fucking get used to it. They're just going to have to learn. So here's some more. Whoa, there's a razor blade stuck there. So I knew I just start going through this process of searching. I understand why people like AI. I understand why especially in a writing scenario, or maybe even making art, you would not want to invite the struggle. I get it. But I also know that the struggle is such an important part. And I know that even when I'm like, oh, shit, I still have to write that type. I know that at the end it will be great. It will be awesome and it'll work. And then I had my gal Heather come over and bring her computer because she knows how to use Photoshop and all that stuff, and we could start building comps, and I could start seeing, and she could put things in the somewhat correct color, and I can see how things can bleed through to each other. Let me see if I have that comp here. God, here's some more.
A million.
More type there. Some more. Oh well.
Too many papers.
Oh well. But I can I invited her over, and she's like, "Oh, this one, you want to use this type?" And I'm like, "No." And so I had to poop it out. I did, like while she's sitting here. And the nice thing about that is I'm a show off. So if I'm trying to impress somebody like my kids or like Heather, I can make work much faster. I was making work I was in Dusseldorf, Germany, and I had a table where I was just making drawings for people. And I was in Boulder, Colorado, and I had a table and I was just making drawings for people. And I bought a stack of these very high-end, expensive letterpress postcards that I had made. And I was making drawings for people. And out of 60 drawings, three didn't make it. There were 3 that went on the floor because one woman asked for a lotus, and I just started drawing a flower, and I'm like, wait, that's not a lotus. Or I spelled some kid's name wrong, and I'm like, oops. But when I have an audience and I'm just kind of flying and I'm just using these pens, it's easier for me. Partially because I'm not in my own head. I'm looking at them, I'm trying to read them, I'm trying to make a gift, because your work is a gift. And if you can understand that at every level, your work is a gift. And that means when you understand that your work is a gift, that means it changes how you think about your work. It changes who you work for. It changes how you think about it. It changes why you work. You no longer work to satisfy a boss or a client or anybody. You work to make yourself happy. And you give your audience something of value, a piece of yourself. So your work is a gift. Thanks, Nova. And I even kind of like repeatedly make stickers trying to remind people that their work is a gift, right? So keep an eye out, because I'm going to start talking about these prints. I love them. This one's going to be a big, probably a yellow flower with some red in it. I don't know. All hand silk screened. Oh, here's that little comp I was looking for. See, I've got to figure out, like, if I want it to look exactly like this, where you can see through the colors. And I did this question mark a couple of different ways. I did it as a physical thing cut out of paper, just like this heart is cut out of paper, and it has an edge with a shadow. But the shadow on this, when you buy this, it's a 2-color silk screen. It's fluorescent orange and black, but the shadow is hand painted. I went into every single print with a soft pencil, and I subtly drew in all the shadows. It looks super dimensional. It looks very cool, but it's done by hand. So I figured I was going to be doing that same thing here, so it might be hard to see, but there's a little shadow drawn in on this thing. May or may not make the final print, because now I'm thinking there's going to be 50 of these, and I got to sign and number them all. There's going to be a lot of waste. So this is this piece, which actually looks like this. This is the one I was talking about up front. Go ask yourself. Right? This is just the black and white version. This one I'm very proud of. This one I'm very happy about. Oh, also, the whole series has a name. It's called Wonderful. And this is what the logo for the Wonderful looks like. And see the two little walking legs in the full? I made a logo. Look at me. I made a logo, Nova. Look at me. So this one I like. Ever Yighton Izzy Udable. And then I'm trying, and the thing about that one is I'm trying to figure out what the colors are, and I'm thinking something like this. And this BLE, it's going to be a 3-color print, but the BLE is going to be done by hand on every one. So I'm trying to figure out what the color break will be on this. If it needs black in here, I'm not sure, because the others have a lot of black. And then the last one, is that the last one? 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then this is the last one. Whoops. And this is going to be in extremely nasty green. Extremely nasty green in fluorescent, probably, maybe not. With a little, and it's going to look like this. There's a little piece of paper, just like looks like it looks like it's taped on there. And it looks like this. It says, "You're so weird." I love that. Or it says, "I love that you're so weird." And that little piece of paper, actually, when printed, is going to look something like this. So again, I will go in and hand draw the shadow to give it that dimensional thing. So I wanted to come on and say, hey. I wanted to come on and say, y'all are amazing. Oh wait, let me see who's here and say hi. Because I never said, hey, I'm gonna be on Instagram at 1:00. I forgot to do that today, so I'm surprised that even any of you guys showed up. Oh my God, people showed up. Look at this. Oh, you guys are so. Anonymous is cool. Senya Murillo, Vlad, Melissa, George is here. Creative Curieux is here. Murmurinsk, Marius, Between Plains, Kellen, Greg, Sophia, Samuel Crowley, Blue Cryptorarch, Jay-Woohoo. Sorry, your names are all jammed together. It's hard to see. Joey, hey, Joey Joey T. Knees. Whoops, shoot. Prava, sorry. I'm mangling their names. I apologize to them. Cushy joined. That's cool. Matthew is here. Ivan K. Photo. What up? Oh, here's a question. A made a recent branding work inspired by your design philosophy. Do check it out, man. Would love your feedback. Oh, Musa Khan. Hey, what's up, Musa? By the way, you know already, but what I think about your work doesn't matter, right? I'm a shitty judge of my work. I'm a shitty judge of my good looks and my sense of humor and my ability. So, I'm probably a terrible judge of what you're doing. Skinny Drawn Boy says, love hearing about your process. Yeah, my process is very straightforward. My process is very straightforward because I want it to feel like that. I want it to feel like these pieces were just like born on that page. Like they just happened. Like they just make sense. It is a lie, but it's a lie to illustrate a truth. Right? Sergey's here. What up? Sherry's here. Do you have any advice for someone going from a job inside a company to freelance? Yes. Now's your time. Now's your time to really find out who you are. Find out your voice and what it can do, because that's what's gonna be of value to you, is your voice, who you are, how you're able to put your loves and your fears into your work, and then how you're going to be able to translate that for other people. That's important. You should feel the wings of the shackles taken off from work, and not go like, oh shit, I'm out on my own now. Right? It's all about attitude and perspective and how you see it, how you choose to see it. Right? Hey, I really appreciate you guys showing up today. That's very cool. Keep an eye out for these prints. I'm going to talk more about them I'm going to start putting more reels together and stuff when they become a little bit more solid, and we start putting some comps together. I'm going to try to get to the printer possibly next week. Also, go to if you're curious about working with me, go to my website and hit that little corner button that says book a talk, free talk. I forget what it's called. It's a pink button though. Also, Instagram bio. Check out Cape Cod. Cape Cod's coming up in October. If you like art school and summer camp, you're going to love Cape Cod. And now it's art school and summer camp with some of the best creatives on the planet joining you. Okay, so y'all, I really appreciate you showing up. It's very cool of you. I'm got to get back to work, and it's summertime, obviously, so I've got to deal with what are we doing now?
Shaved ice.
We're gonna go get shaved ice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Bye, you guys. Thanks for showing up.